The night before my engagement ceremony to Liam, I lay curled under the quilt with my best friend, trading secrets the way we had since kindergarten. Then she told me a secret that detonated my world. She was 4 weeks pregnant, and she had never once let me meet the father. Chloe's face twisted in agony. Babe, if you had to choose, would you pick the father of your baby or the job in Hong? She had fought for 5 straight years to earn that transfer. Yet it was obvious she couldn't bear to let the man go. I didn't hesitate. Go to Hong. A career is a hell of a lot more reliable than a guy. With tears on her lashes, she thumbed out a 5,000-character farewell letter and hit send. Hours later, I found that same letter open on Liam's phone. Before we go any further, please subscribe to this channel and comment to let us know where you're listening from. Liam was still in the shower, his phone kept buzzing. I assumed it was coworkers congratulating him on tomorrow's engagement. I tapped the screen. The top chat was labeled Chloe. She was the girl I'd grown up with for 26 years, the one who'd shared every bath, every popsicle, every crush. 10 minutes earlier we'd been sprawled across my childhood bed, arms locked around each other. What could be so urgent that she had to send Liam 5 separate texts? Liam, tomorrow you'll be engaged to Henny. It feels like this has to be the end for us. As long as you're happy, my tears don't matter. After I watch you two make it official, I'm leaving for the Hong headquarters. Goodbye. I reread the lines until the characters blurred, recognizing every quirk of her typing, the tildes, the little heart she always tacked on at the end. My right hand started to shake so violently the phone nearly slipped. A roar flooded my skull. I couldn't reconcile the man who spoon-fed me mango shaved ice at 2 a.m. with the man comforting my naked soul best friend. So the baby Chloe carried was Liam's. A thick blanket of suffocation clam. Pet over me, tears stabbed at my eyes. The bathroom door clicked. I flung the phone back onto the nightstand. Liam stepped out, smile gentle. Have a good heart-to-heart with Chloe? Once we're married you two can gossip for 3 days straight. The words jammed in my throat like fish bones. I couldn't force a single accusation out. He plugged in the hairdryer. Future Sterling, will you still blow my hair dry tonight the way you always do? In the past I'd fight him for the honor. But now, picturing him running his fingers through Chloe's hair with that same intimacy, I felt my stomach flip. My throat scratchy. Mind if I crash first? He carried me to bed with his usual attentiveness. The moment he checked his own phone, the tendons in his neck popped up like cables. Sweetheart, I need to run out for gum. I threw on my sneakers and crept after him, heart slamming. Prayers didn't do a thing. Under the maple at the edge of Maple, Liam pulled Chloe into his arms, and the planet lurched off its axis. I bit down on my fingers to muffle the sob clawing up my throat. Liam's broad palm settled over Chloe's still flat belly, voice cracking. Why didn't you tell me? That's my child. What good would it do? Tomorrow you pledge your life to Henny. We've got no future. You're serious about Hong? And I'm ending the pregnancy. Chloe tried to shove him away, stubbornly swallowing tears. Liam refused to let go, thumbs brushing the droplets clinging to her lashes. What about me? You'll just vanish? Did you stop to think whether I can survive that? You'll have Henny. We shouldn't have kept sinning in the first place. But I love you, Chloe. You can't gut me like this. If you leave, you hollow me out. Chloe's tears spilled, their bodies fused together as if welded. They clung to each other like tragic movie lovers, and suddenly I was the villain ripping them apart. 2 at 1 a.m. Liam slid back under the quilt. My tears had dried into stiff streaks, my throat felt shredded. He curved an arm around me and pressed his usual goodnight kiss to my shoulder. Baby, I'm jittery. Tomorrow's our engagement party, feels like a dream. We shared the bed but lived in 2 separate nightmares. At dawn my parents were already clattering around the kitchen. According to our old neighborhood customs, an engagement must be noisy. Every neighbor on the block would cram into the courtyard. Liam's side would roll up with vans of fresh flowers, fruit, and whole carcasses of pork. He insisted I rest while he hovered near my parents greeting early guests. Then Chloe's parents pulled me into the spare bedroom. Before I could speak, Sinclair dropped to her knees. I lurched forward to lift her. Both Sinclairs had practically raised me. Half my childhood trophies lined their mantle. Auntie, what are you doing? Her voice cracked. Henny, I know this is unfair, but Chloe's our only girl. We can't watch her cry her heart out. Could you step back and let her be with Liam? I stumbled backward, jaw slack. Sinclair stepped in, voice thick. Chloe knows she's wrong, but love can't be reasoned with. Now that she's carrying Liam's baby, we're terrified she'll do something desperate. My expression flatlined. So, you two have known about Chloe and Liam all along? Back when my parents worked double shifts and grandma lived across town, I'd practically lived at Chloe's house. They bought me matching sneakers at every school term, paid for my art fair fees, bragged about me like a second daughter. Our 20-year friendship was supposed to be built on bedrock trust. Turns out I was the only one left in the dark. Sinclair clasped my hands. Henny, blame me, not Chloe. You know she cherishes you. If she ever found out you broke the engagement for her sake, she'd shred herself with guilt. Save my girl, keep her in the dark, please? I stared at her for a long time before my fingers loosened. Auntie, I promise. She sobbed with relief, repeating Paul. Oh geese until they blurred. Outside the door, Chloe and Liam stood yards apart. Chloe's eyes sparkled as she led the neighborhood kids in a cell phone game, handing out mini cupcakes she'd baked. These are from beautiful Hanny, she chirped. Remember to wish her happy engagement later, okay? Liam's gaze rested on her, gentle, lingering, impossible to sever. No wonder, every anniversary, he insisted I invite Chloe. I'd thought it was love me love my dog. Amusement park tickets, always 3. Cosmetics runs, he'd remind me to pick up an extra set for her. 6 years ago Sinclair told me they'd already been sneaking behind my back for 6 years. We ourselves had only been dating 7. My mind kept rewinding to senior year, Chloe slamming a boy who'd leered at me, earning herself a month of toilet mopping duty. The night Liam and I had our first fight, she'd ridden 19 hours on a greenskin train just to drag me out for beer and air. I couldn't picture it. After she coaxed drunk me to sleep, she and Liam exchanged one look and talked till dawn under the stars. All that love-wearing friendship's name turned to arsenic in my blood in a single heartbeat. 3. Seeing me hover by the door, Chloe hurried over and caught my hand. Her face was all concern. Babe, you look pale, catch a chill last night? This cheapo is killer on you. Liam must have saved a galaxy in his last life. I stared at my scarlet dress, fingers brushing her hem. Yeah, you chose it for my engagement, same new Chinese cut as yours, perfect match. She grinned. Told you I've got taste. With me around, relax. Now, studying her soft pink cheapo, I saw it paired far better with Liam's black mandarin collar than mine ever could. Had she really picked it for me, or snuck in a choice for herself? My thoughts wouldn't line up. Liam carried 2 glasses over, pressing one into each of our hands. Standing too long? Wet your throats. Chloe teased, at least you've got eyes. No wonder you stole my darling H. Of course, Hannah's my fiancé now. I noticed, Chloe's water was lukewarm, mine, ice cold. Liam's thoroughness stung. I traced the cup. Of everyone in this farce, I, the clown, was the one dying to bolt. He sensed something off and murmured, jitters? I shook my head. Just woke too early. Chloe tugged me toward the bedroom. Come, let me touch you up. Big day, gotta dazzle. In the mirror she drew my brows, dotted my beauty mark with monk focus. I flashed back to right after high school finals, us dabbling with makeup for the first time and turning each other into baboon butts. Scared of our moms, we hid in the mall all day, sharing one $3 grilled sausage. But we could never go back. I lifted my eyes. Chloe, you keeping any secrets from me? Her pencil hand twitched. Yep. I held my breath. I've scoped a male review club. Once you're someone's wife, you'll watch me tear it up. She doubled over laughing, and the last ember in my chest went cold. Even now, she wouldn't hand me the truth. Outside, firecrackers cracked, the hour for the gift procession had come. Mom and Dad flanked Liam, Chloe stood beside us. Dad beamed. Look at time fly, our Hannah's getting engaged, Chloe's career's soaring. Remember Chloe vowing whoever nabbed our Hannah would have to outdrink her till he crawled? Chloe laughed. Exactly. Our Han's the best baby ever, even you, Liam, don't deserve her. Today I make good, beat me at Baijio or the ceremony's off. She sloshed a bowl full of Baijio and locked eyes with Liam. His brow folded into a canyon. Relatives hooped. Now that's a bestie, drink up, Liam. Chloe can tank 5 of you easy. You snatched her soulmate, pay the tab. I glanced at Sinclair and Sinclair, tears shining, aching for their daughter's brittle bravado. Chloe thundered, first bowl, me. The moment the liquor touched her lips I snatched it and drained it. The burn scalded my throat. No one moved. Liam's hand froze midair, he'd been lunging to stop her. Pregnant, she couldn't touch Baijiu. He exhaled relief, voice tender. Why so much? Chloe, skip it today or you'll miss the feast. She clutched my hand. Babe, I can hold it. Don't sell me short. I couldn't fake another second and excused myself to the restroom. For inside, I jabbed fingers down my throat and spat bitter bile. I would march out and call the engagement off. But I found only Mom and Dad on the sofa, faces grave. A chill ran through me. Mom, Dad, where is everyone? Chloe fainted, your aunt and uncle took her to St. Liam vanished, won't pick up. The schedule shot. She wasn't even drunk, why the collapse? I figured it had to be the baby. Without briefing my parents I hailed a cab to the hospital. On the second floor OBGYN corridor Chloe sat on Liam's lap, tears streaming. I booked the termination procedure, she said. I'll leave when it's done. Go back and finish the ceremony with Hannah. Sinclair barked, nonsense, your body can't take it. Sinclair knelt, stroking her cheek. Silly girl, with your threatened miscarriage you can't gamble. Mom can't bear to see you hurt. Liam's face was steel. He hugged her tight, whispering, Chloe, let's keep this child, please? He's the combination of you and me, don't you want to watch him grow up? Because I do. I can't gamble with the risks of the surgery. Please, come home with us, okay? Chloe could not stop sobbing at his words, she only shook her head again and again. A week ago I was working late at the office when I suddenly received a call saying Chloe had been admitted to the hospital. Without a second thought I dashed out, losing a shoe as I ran, and finally reached her room. Liam was already spoon-feeding her hot porridge. Back then my mind was so full of worry for Chloe's safety that I never wondered why Liam looked so anxious about her, or why he tended to her so attentively. I even felt relieved that he was taking care of her instead of me. Nor did I notice the tiny bit mark at the corner of his mouth. That was probably the moment when Chloe nearly lost the baby, but she kept it, and Liam, hidden from me. The pain twisted like a knife, my eyes burned as I closed them. Clutching the test report, Chloe rose to her feet, her attitude resolute. Dad, Mom, I can't do this to Hannah. Liam, go. Go find Hannah. Tell her a friend had an emergency and I left early. I have to give up this child and start over in Hong. Just then the nurse called the next number. Patient number 27, Chloe, you may come in for prep. The instant Chloe turned to leave, I walked toward them, one measured step after another. My voice was soft yet unmistakably firm. Nurse, I'm sorry, we won't be proceeding with the surgery. Liam, I've already returned every betrothal gift you sent, and I've dismissed all the guests. Our engagement ceremony is over. You're free. None of them expected me to have followed them. Shock flashed across all four faces. Chloe looked especially stunned, as if her mind had shut down. The papers in her hand scattered across the floor. Suddenly realizing something was off, she shoved Liam away, distancing herself from him. Then she looked at me and said, Sweetie, why are you here? I'm fine, go back home. Liam, Hannah came for you. Hurry, it's our engagement day, you can't be absent. Liam himself seemed dazed, guilt flickering in his eyes. He couldn't look straight at me. They were betting I hadn't overheard their conversation. I stepped closer to Chloe, my tone calm, almost emotionless. Chloe, I heard everything. I know everything about the two of you. From now on you don't have to pretend indifference or orbit around me. You can be with Liam openly. You can raise the child properly. I'll tell Mom and Dad to cancel the engagement. Liam jerked his head toward me, wanting to speak but stopping short. Sinclair and his wife were shocked, yet relief danced in their eyes. Chloe shook her head robotically. Anna, what are you saying? We can't call off the engagement, I won't allow it. Go back with Liam right now. I'll be out in a moment. The nurse grew impatient. Are we doing this procedure or not? Chloe yelled, yes. I can't keep this baby. I cut her off. No. Please cancel it, nurse, thank you. Giving me a doubtful look, the nurse returned to her office. Chloe didn't dare meet my eyes, her tears splattered one by one onto the glossy corridor floor. I spoke evenly. You don't have to abort, that will only hurt your body. Your mom and dad would be heartbroken. Let Liam go to Hong with you. You can have both family and career, there's nothing wrong with that. She turned slowly. Hannah, are you driving me away? I said nothing, only glanced at Liam standing in the corner. Everything you delivered today will be sent back. Come pick up your belongings from the apartment, or if you're busy I'll have movers carry them out and leave them in the hallway. The car is registered under my name, so I'm keeping it. Since you've chosen her, treat her well. He opened his mouth. Hannah, listen, don't bother explaining. There's no need. Suddenly Chloe grabbed my hand. Hannah, when did you find out? When would you have liked me to find out? That doesn't matter. What matters is, I'm stepping aside. I no longer love Liam. I wish you two a happy ending. But she dropped to her knees in front of me. The thud against the tile made my scalp tingle. Sinclair cried out, Yow yow, you can't kneel. Get up. All three of them scrambled to lift her, yet she stayed put, clutching the hem of my skirt. Hannah, I'm sorry, I never meant to wreck your happiness. I had decided to leave. After witnessing your perfect day, I'd go to Hong and never return, never disturb you again. This child is the product of a mistake. I don't want him, and I won't let his existence ruin our friendship. If you don't believe me, I'll slam my head against the wall right now and prove Eve. Reword is true. Liam shouted, no. Chloe strained with all her might, trying to hurl herself headfirst into the wall. They caught her just in time. I looked down at her hysterics, my gaze glacial. My voice trembled. Chloe, what performance is this? You think drama will move me? You betrayed me, yet you insist on blaming an unborn fetus for your guilt. Do you really think that lightens your conscience? Stop lying to yourself, stop plugging your ears and stealing the bell. 6. Perhaps it was my icy tone, or maybe my extreme composure stabbed her right where it hurt, but Chloe abruptly fell silent. Moments earlier she'd been clamoring for the surgery, now she leaned against the wall, utterly deflated. She stared at me, aggrieved yet repressed, muttering, Hannah, you've never spoken to me like that. The way you're looking at me, like I'm a stranger, how can that expression be on your face? Indeed, once upon a time we never let overnight resentment stand, and we never hurled cruel words at each other. This was the first time I'd ever confronted her so bluntly. I wanted to say, since she chose betrayal, she should have expected exactly what was unfolding now. But when I saw the heartbreak etched on Mr. and Sinclair's faces and then looked at Chloe's still flat stomach, the words I'd prepared melted on my tongue. I let the air leave my lungs in a slow stream and curved my lips into a smile that finally felt free. Goodbye, Chloe. Liam, take care of her. Then I turned away and never looked back. Panic and noise erupted behind me, but they were no longer my concern. When I stepped into our house, Mom and Dad were hunched on the sofa, looking as if someone had unplugged all the light in their world. The rooms that had buzzed with wedding excitement now echoed, the silence so heavy it felt almost unnatural. Dad spoke first, his deep voice raw. Hannah, people are saying Liam and Yao. I pressed bloodless lips together, and every ounce of the day's bitterness ridged at once, soaking every cell in my body. Mom's face was taut with worry. She slipped an arm around my shoulders and drew me against her so my head rested on her chest. Only then did the dam break. I wailed like a child. Mom, they started seeing each other behind my back ages ago, and I've been jumping around like a clown for years. It hurts so much. Mom tightened her embrace, patting my back as her own voice cracked. They have no shame, and they trampled your heart. Cry, sweetheart. Mom and Dad are right here. When you're done crying, we'll leave this place together. If they had only told me, I would have stepped aside for them. One was my best friend for over 20 years, the other the man I loved. I didn't want to lose either, and now I've lost both at once. Dad shot to his feet and started pacing. I actually trusted that punk Liam. All that smooth talk while he was cheating. Does he think the Vance family has no one to answer to? I'm going to get an explanation out of him if it's the last thing I do. Don't you worry, honey. Any man who makes my daughter cry will never set foot in this house again. He was halfway to the door when I caught his arm. His temper could blow the roof off. If he stormed over there and something happened, the price would be mine to pay. After I'd cried myself dry, I lay on my bed while Mom kept watch beside the pillow, holding my hand. Dad stood over the stove, simmering congee. The fragrance drifted in and wrapped around me like an extra blanket. That was when I finally understood the old saying, only your parents will love you without asking for anything in return. Everyone else's love is a luxury you should never count on, let alone build your whole life around. Outside, a summer cloudburst hammered the window panes like thrown gravel. The phone rang again and again. Liam. In the end I picked up. What do you want to say? Juan, I'm downstairs. Can we talk face to face? I drew back the curtain. There he was, drenched and disheveled, standing in the torrent. Mom gave my shoulder a gentle squeeze. Do you want to go down? I nodded, pulled on a heavy coat, and rode the elevator. On the front steps he stood in the rain while I stayed under the roof, a strip of water between us. He could barely open his eyes against the downpour. Chloe's thought it through, she's keeping the baby. Juan, thank you for giving us your blessing, and I'm sorry. I know you'll find someone better, someone who'll love you more than I ever did. He looked sincere, as though he'd rushed over to deliver this wonderful news. I felt oddly numb. Liam, do you honestly believe that standing in the rain, letting the whole neighborhood see how heartbroken you are, proves you're some great romantic? Does that ease your conscience a little more? I'm not making a scene, not because you're so wonderful I can't bear to tear off the mask, but because scum like you isn't worth another second of my life. If you've finished your performance, disappear. The neighbors gossip enough, the last thing I need is to become their joke. I've already been cursed with bad luck meeting you. I couldn't see his face clearly, but I sensed he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. The cloudburst showed no sign of letting up, yet the hot congee in my stomach had already chased every shadow from my heart. 7 Mom and Dad suggested we move north. I've always loved snow, so the idea lit me up. Once every last detail was wrapped up, our family relocated to a mid-size coastal city in the north. I spent my days strolling along the boardwalk, sunning myself, letting the salt wind tangle my hair. No duties, no schedule. Between Dad's pension and Mom's, plus the wedding fund I'd saved, we could live comfortably for a couple of years without me lifting a finger. In Mom's words, I could go job hunting whenever I felt like it, no rush. Everyone here was a stranger, politely friendly. For me, that was the easiest social temp erasure in the world. I never expected to run into Adrian, my college classmate. He was at Seabreeze, apparently on a blind date that wasn't going well. I'd just picked up my latte and was trying to hide behind the cup when he spotted me. Hannah, no hiding now that you've had your front row seat to the drama. The least you can do is say hello. I forced a wobbly smile and straightened. Small world. Their coffee here's really good. He grinned and asked if he could share the table. I shook my head, no objection. 2 former classmates can always scrounge up topics. The question slipped out before I could stop it. Someone with your looks and resume must have admirers lining up. Why the blind date? Parents turning up the heat? Back at Riverdale, Adrian had been student body president, star debater, and a campus forum legend, talented, driven, and utterly without airs. Judging by his watch and cut of his coat, business was booming, yet here he was, 27 and funneled into the matchmaking circuit. He answered easily. Mom and Dad panicked so hard they started doubting my orientation. I show up, chat, everyone's happy. I laughed. Feels like graduation was yesterday, and suddenly we're old enough for marriage and mortgages. Time sure flies. He took a slow sip of his Americano, voice low. Yeah, a lot has changed. But some people, some things, they stay exactly the way they were at the beginning. The beginning. My mind darted back to those reckless, carefree years when Chloe and I thought we could outrun the world. Everything changes, people, places, even we ourselves. No one can stop it. But Adrian, you're still as handsome and steady as ever. I believe you'll get everything you wish for. He kept smiling, eyes bright and sharp, the kind of clarity no amount of real-world grinding could file down. That was how we finally swapped contact info. After graduation, when I cleaned out my phone, I deleted half my friends list. Only then did we add each other Ack. Looks like we live pretty close, he said. If you're free, let's grab coffee and watch the sea sometime, Hannah. When he spoke my name, a fizzy shiver always ran down my spine. I hitched my crossbody bag higher and smiled back. It's a deal. 8 after Liam and Chloe collected their marriage license, work swallowed them whole. Chloe stayed home to guard the pregnancy and almost never stepped outside. But prenatal anxiety ambushed her. A single sad chord could jerk tears from her eyes, and every ringing phone made her flinch like a hunted bird. Liam tried every trick he knew, nothing worked, and exhaustion hollowed him out. One night her crying dragged him from sleep. He found her hugging a thick photo album, fat drops splatting on the plastic sleeves. When he reached to take it away, she shrieked like a madwoman. Don't touch my album. Every picture is of Juan and me, you have no right. Okay, I won't touch it, Amy. Let's sleep, alright? You need rest. Be good. But she only sank deeper into grief, fingertips brushing the 2 bright teenage faces. If only Juan were here. Whenever I couldn't sleep, she'd sing to me, off-key, but her voice was the only lullaby that ever worked. Juan hates me now. She dumped me without a word and vanished. I'll never see her again. The more she talked, the faster the tears fell. Liam needed his throbbing temples. These days he felt far from the happiness he'd imagined. He'd thought that marrying Chloe and having a baby would feel like cruising uphill. Instead, Hannah's vivid face hijacked him at every turn. If he hadn't halfway betrayed her, would everything be different now? Was this what people mean, the ones you fail to keep haunt you forever? He had Chloe, exactly as planned, yet neither of them could find any joy. Suddenly Chloe asked, Liam, do you regret picking me? No regrets, Amy. Don't overthink. But I regret it. I shouldn't have traded you for my Juan. Why did I only figure T? Had out now. They lapsed into silence. Chloe lay wrecked on the mattress, staring at the ceiling until daylight. Liam smoked on the windowsill all night, aging 20 years before sunrise. In the 3rd month of my whatever phase, I started over. The Seabreeze owner and I clicked the moment we met. she took me on as an apprentice, and I became an ordinary barista. The cafe is insta-famous, 3 floors, shelves of books, plenty of seats for laptops and lattes. Most days are slow. Between shifts I read and practice latte art. Only Adrian shows up every single day, orders 1 cup, sits by the window, chats with me now and then, never pushy, never loud. If I still pretended not to notice his feelings, I'd be faking deafness and blindness. Adult romance involves fewer loops, so I just asked, Adrian, are you trying to court me? He nodded without hesitation. Did I scare you? Not really. Just, why me? The blind date girls his family throws at him outrank me on every metric. He could pick someone far more suitable. His answer blindsided me. That so-called blind date girl is actually an employee I recruited for show. It was the least obvious way I could think of to get near you. Translation, he'd been scheming for a long time. I calmed my pulse. Adrian, right now I may not be ready to let someone new in. He lifted a brow. You've sworn off men? I shook my head. Then I still have a shot. No rush, Hannah. We'll take it slow. Slow, exactly what I needed. 4 months later we spent our first Northern New Year in Coastal. The house smelled of pine and sugar, Mom and Dad were healthy, and I'd glued my fractured heart back together. After the feast I slid open a box stashed in the corner. Inside lay a red hand-knitted scarf from Chloe, her annual New Year tradition, every stitch purled by hand. Beneath it sat an envelope, handwriting shaky, pages warped by teardrops. The 10-page letter spilled our 20-some years across the paper, longer, it seemed, than her goodbye note to Liam. She wrote that she'd wronged me, reaped what she'd sown, and had no face to appear before me again. Her sole wish was my happiness. By the last line my eyes stung. Heading downstairs, I folded the letter and dropped it into the trash. The scarf I gave to a little girl biking circles around Maple, she squealed with delight. Some people stride through your life, splash wild color across the canvas, then vanish. We were genuine, I have no regrets. The seaside wind bit hard, Adrian draped his coat over my shoulders. Powdery snow fluttered down as fireworks burst open the sky. Watching the sea shimmer under the sparks, my New Year wish clicked true. I sniffled. Adrian, you're cleared to chase your New Year wish. I was counting on it. His big hand closed around mine, warm, steady. Given another chance, I'd still run toward love, fearless. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more great stories. See you next time.